Hi guys. So I'm hard at work on the review here, but I paid a little snag. I gotta pretty much back up my computer. In the past year, 2 of my hard drives broke and I lost 2 terabytes. Don't buy Seagate. Ever. So I've essentially decided to back up my computer, which is a wonderfully labor-intensive process. I have at least 5 terabytes to back up. So I decided maybe to make a little video that might help you out a little. And I'll show you how I capture video game footage. It might not show up in the video, but I am able to capture any video footage from any console at any resolution you want. And I'm sure that's a skill some of you want. So here's my little tutorial here. Be warned that if you want it to be done right, you're gonna have to buy hardware and a lot of wires. For some reason, some people think that they can just find some piece of software and they'll be able to do it for free. I'm sorry, you have to plug whatever you're recording from into something so it can get into the computer, and this requires hardware. Excluding software, this is going to cost you around $200. There's actually a lot of ways to do it. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. Recording video game footage is actually pretty easy. It's just that there are so many ways to do it. First, let me show you how not to do it. The easiest way is just to point your camera at the TV or the computer. This could work sometimes, but it's going to look like crap. It has to do with the refresh rate of your camera and the TV, but basically, the rounder your screen is, and the older your TV is, the worse it's going to look. Here's an old style TV with a very round screen. Here's an old style TV with a flat screen. Old CRT monitors work just as badly. If you happen to have a computer with a flat screen, footage you record off that will actually look pretty good. For optimum recording, you're going to have to adjust the white balance and the color balance on there. But like I said, this is not the best way to do it. You'll get bad audio, things will get blurry, you'll hear yourself talking, there's space limitations, and you know, somebody might hit the camera. Now, all recording, no matter what you're trying to do, is the same thing. Basically, you want to connect a wire from the thing you want to record to the recording device. The thing you want to record might be a TV show, an old cassette tape from a VCR, or video game footage from a gaming console. And your recording device might be a VCR, a DVR, or a capture card, or even a camcorder. But remember, we're not doing that. The footage you want comes out of the thing that has the footage and into the recording device. So when you plug this wire in, remember to plug the wire into the video and audio in port of the recording device and the video and audio out port of the thing that you want to record. Finding these ports is pretty easy. They're mainly S-video ports, RCA cables, or the HD equivalent. Don't worry, they'll always say in or out. You're going to want a digital device to record your video game footage. I suggest using a capture card when you record video footage. You can use a camera, and you would do so by plugging the wire into an AV in port on the camera. A lot of cameras have this. But if you have a crappy camera, like this one you're looking at, then the footage might come out like this. Needless to say, that sucks. You're going to want a capture card. I know they're cheaper, and I know the technology's gotten better, but the one that you have to actually physically attach to the inside of your computer will always be better than the cheaper external ones. So follow the instructions it comes with and attach the capture card to your computer. Normally this involves inserting it into a PCI slot. This is not a hard thing to do. Just open the case, remove the little metal piece that protects the PCI slot, and shove the card in. And I prefer cards that have a front and back panel, so you can more easily plug the wires in. These cards are going to cost you from $100 to $150. The one I have is a very old $170 card, and it's not in stores anymore, but it works just fine. Now, I have to warn you that capture cards and operating systems are very annoying. Unbelievably, the best operating system to do this on is Vista. It'll work on XP, but the reason why Vista's better is because all the new programs will work on it. Windows 7's a pain in the ass. While newer capture cards might work on Windows 7, I've yet to find a good program to record with. If you know one, tell me. You'll be using the capture card to record anything you can't emulate, which basically means anything you plug into the TV, PlayStation, Xbox, DVD players, VCRs, and any portable console you have the adapter for, but we'll get into that later. You can record a Game Boy with a capture card too, but it's a lot harder because you need to find specific adapters for the wires. For the stuff you can emulate, I'll talk about that in a minute. Occasionally you might run into this problem where the software that you use to record and the capture card will not let you record because of macro vision protection. And this happened to me once when I was trying to record off a Game Boy. In that worst case scenario, you're going to have to plug it into your camcorder. Believe me, I'm a cheapskate. This is the cheapest possible way you can get the best quality you can get. Most of the wires and adapters I'm going to ask you to buy, you can find in a dollar store. And if you can't, you can buy them at fries.com for very low prices. Other wires should have came with your console and your camcorder if you have one. If you're incredibly intent on recording on the highest definition possible, even though you don't really need it, then every time I say S-Video, replace it with HDMI or DVI. But believe me, all this is going to do is make it cost more money. Consoles like the Nintendo and the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2 have resolution so low that you don't need anything really higher than 720p. Okay, so you have the basic RCA cable that you use to plug your game console into the TV. You'll be using this. Now, a while ago, I bought a special one that not only has the 3 RCA wires, yellow for video, white for left audio, and red for right audio. It also has an S-Video wire. You're gonna get better quality if you use S-Video instead of the yellow wire. But on older systems where there's no HD, you don't really have to worry about it. If you're trying to record a PlayStation 3 though, you're gonna want S-Video. I bought this wire in one of those cheapo cases where brands like Logitech try to sell compatible controllers and compatible wires. This cost me $20. It was a great find. It even has connectors to all different kinds of console systems. So buy this because it'll help you do your recording. You're also going to need female to female RCA adapters. These were $1 in a dollar store. You're going to need 3 of them. Now these female to female RCA adapters will say audio, but they work just as well for the video. So don't worry about it. If you're using S-Video, you're going to need a female to female S-Video adapter. And I had to go to Radio Shack to get this. This little thing was $20. Damn you, Radio Shack. Remember, when you're dealing with wires, there are male parts and there are female parts. Male, female. The easiest way to hook the game console to the capture card is merely to plug the RCA cables into the capture card. But chances are your RCA cable is not that long, so you'll want an extension cord. Plug the RCA cable into those adapters and plug your male-male extension cord wire into the adapters and the capture card. So, step 1. Connect the video and audio cables to the console. If it's a portable console, you're going to have to buy a special adapter that you can plug the video cord in so that the console will be connected. The audio is much easier. You put the audio cables in a little adapter that's easily available at a dollar store, and it's actually cheap in Radio Shack, and plug it into the headphone jack. Video adapters for portable consoles will be expensive and hard to find. You're better off emulating the game and using a screen recording software to record, like Camtasia. The bigger console should already have a special wire that you use to connect to the TV. Unplug it, and instead of plugging the wires into the TV, plug it into the capture card. Step 2. Plug it into the capture card. This is self-explanatory. Add the extension cord if you need it. Now, if you do it the simplest way, you won't be able to watch the video game on the TV, but you'll be able to see it on the computer with the capture card. I don't like this. I like to be able to play the game on the TV and see it on the computer and record it at the same time. While it's recording, the computer will record it perfectly, but if you don't have a high processor speed or a lot of memory, you're going to see a lot of lag in the video, and it will be very difficult to play. Fortunately, you have that wire I told you to get. So you'll need that wire, the RCA extension cord, an S-Video extension cord, and if you have one, there's a special left to right audio wire that you can plug into a single microphone jack. So what you can do is plug the yellow video wire into the TV so that you can see what's going on the TV. But plug the S-Video wire that's connected to the console and plug it into the capture card. Personally, I prefer to record the audio with the computer's own microphone than with the capture card. It takes some work off the capture card, and I think it sounds better. If you do this, make sure you plug the audio cables into the line-in port on your computer. This is usually the blue one, but it will say line-in. Make sure your computer's microphone is set to line-in, as well as the software you use, and it will record fine. So check this out. I got it playing on my TV. And the computer. It's recording right now, and check out the quality of this footage. Now that the console or whatever you're recording from is connected to the computer, you need a program to record with. When you buy a capture card, you're going to get a program, but it's going to suck. The only incredibly good, flawless program I've ever had was InterVideo WinDVR 3, which unfortunately does not work on Windows 7. So if any of you find a better one, tell me. This program works like a dream. Be sure when you install the program that the card is going to record from the right place. The program shows you which card you're using and the source you're recording from. If you got the yellow video wire plugged in, you have to record from composite. If you have the S-video cable in, like you should be recording from S-video. Sometimes you don't have a choice. It would be easier just to plug in the S-video cable into the TV, but my TV doesn't have an S-video cable, and I'm assuming maybe yours doesn't either. If it doesn't, plug the video cable in. With my special cable, there's no problem. This is what it looks like when it's not connected. This is what it looks like when it is. Click record, stop the recording whenever you want, and there you got it, a digital recording of your video game. It'll come out as an MPEG, which remember will be huge. A half an hour video is about 4 gigs, so make sure you have the space. When you're done recording, type in a name, and you're done. You'll also want some sort of video conversion software when you're done with this, because the files will be huge, and you want to make them smaller. But be aware, get a good program, because upon conversion, the audio and the video might not sync up right. Fix any problems you have with that with your editing software. Remember, files of footage recorded with capture cards are big. If you can play the game via an emulator, do it. The files you'll get are much smaller. Most emulating programs have some sort of record video feature, which if it does, you should use. But you should experiment, because some are crap. If you don't want to experiment, you can use a program called Camtasia Studio, which is fairly expensive. The program is self-explanatory. Select New Screen Recording, pick the area of the screen that the emulated image is in, and it will record. The video you'll get will be very small, it will be very perfect, but try to make sure the mouse pointer is not in the footage. And when you're done, it will save as a CamRec file. It'll ask you to convert it to a shareable format, and you will get good footage. I suggest converting them to WMVs because they're very small and they're very easy to use with most editors. There's a lot of features with Camtasia that you can use to edit your video, but you don't need to be concerned with that. Save any edits for the editing studio, not right now. There is something you can do very well with Camtasia that you can't do with InterVideo. Say you're playing a Final Fantasy game and you don't really want to film the battles. With Camtasia, you can record yourself playing the game, and when you get into a battle, pause the video. When the battle's over, resume recording. The cut will be flawless. But Camtasia Studio files are in a weird codec called TSCC that no editing video software knows. So what you're going to have to do is, once you've made the Camtasia files, convert them, and be aware of the audio and video sync. You can use Camtasia to record any emulated game. You can also use it to record anything on your screen. So if you have any PC games you want to record, you can. But Camtasia cannot record everything. Some PC games won't work at all. And if you watch a video on your computer, that's probably not going to work. If you want to record something that Camtasia can't do on your computer, there is a way, but you'll need some more wires. And really, it's much easier to do this if you have 2 computers. One computer has the capture card, and the other computer has the footage that you want to record. This situation is the best of both worlds. You'll free up your computer from doing any work the capture card has to do. I bought a refurbished computer from TigerDirect.com at $150, and it does the job of recording and converting fine, albeit very noisily. So to be able to record absolutely anything from your computer, you need a VGA splitter cable, or whatever wire you use to plug your video card into the monitor. And you do the same thing I did with the TV. Plug one half of the cable into the monitor, the other half of the cable into some sort of adapter, so that you can plug your VGA cable and your S-video cable together. Then plug the S-video cable into the capture card, and record. You're ready. Let me show you the wire diagram one last time. This wire configuration is the simplest way to record anything from a console. This configuration is how to record from a console. This configuration is how to record from a console if you need an extension cord and you want to see the recording on the TV and the computer at the same time. This is the configuration for recording from a computer if you want to see what you're doing on the computer and what you're recording at the same time. That's all you need to know. Go to the store, write down all the wires you need, and buy them. Only record 4 hours at a time. Any more and the computer might crack up on you because it needs a lot of memory and a lot of space to make these files. Make sure you have at least 200 gigabytes free on your computer. This is your bottom of the barrel last resort. If you have to record using the camcorder, you need this wire. This wire usually comes with the camcorder, and this is how you need to record it. But remember, this sucks. And remember, you can do the same thing if you want to record an old VHS tape. Instead of the console, plug the out wires into the VCR. And if you don't want to use a capture card, you can use a VCR or a DVR. Instead of plugging all the wires into the capture card, plug it into the VCR or plug it into the DVR. It doesn't matter. But I'm sure you'll prefer to have the digital files on your computer so you can manipulate them later. So I hope that brief tutorial helps you out a bit. Maybe you can start making your own videos.